What up, cucks? It's your boy, the hater up in this piece. And I don't know what the rest of you are waiting on, but several people have gotten their $200 by applying for the Amazon credit card using the link of my buddy. I will attach it one more time in the pinned comment today, and that's going to be it. So that's your last opportunity. Take it or leave it, cucks. Now, with that being said, let's get on to today's video. I didn't watch Raw because, as I've said several times before, I am not compelled to watch Raw by what's going on, by CM Punk's return, and quite frankly, even by Randy Orton's return, even though he's on Smackdown. But because Randy Orton's on Smackdown, this prompted ya boy to do a video on the following, right? The idea that for once, maybe in a long time, like for real, you know what I mean? SmackDown is better than Raw. Now, I know you're thinking, oh, hater, Roman Reigns has been on SmackDown for years. Yeah, but he hasn't really. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't really. Now, SmackDown has been better than Raw in terms of the quality of the matches and the quality of the production and the quality of the entertainment. You know what I mean? In my opinion, forever. I was always a SmackDown guy, right? Like, I was always like a SmackDown dude through and through, you know, back in the day when they had the brand split period, you know? I just liked SmackDown more because they had, like, my favorite wrestlers, like Guerrero and Mysterio, and at a certain point, Cena and Batista, you know what I mean? Like, they were just like, I always associated them with, like, the good night of wrestling, you know? But Raw has always been presented as the number one show. Even while Reigns was the champion, Raw is still Raw. We still talk about the Raw after WrestleMania. But now, what is left? Seriously, what is left? I mean, Jade Cargill, I think, is also going to SmackDown, right? So what is left in terms of exciting and new on Raw, right? The only thing you could hang your hat on would be Cookie Rhodes, who in my opinion has had a completely mediocre run since his return, right? He's had like 15 matches at best, right? It's been like 3 years, I think. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? It's been at least 2 years, right? He's gonna, well, no, hasn't. It's been like a year and a half. Whatever. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? It feels like it's been 3 years because he's been there and he's done nothing. 15 matches is generous, right? And it's like every match Cody has been in, literally every match, has been predictable, in my opinion, right? Like, of course he's gonna beat Seth Rollins, right? I will say I didn't expect him to beat Seth Rollins thrice, but everything else I kind of expected. Now, should they have happened the way they did? Of course not. Brock Lesnar should have squashed him 3 times, but I expected it. I expected Cody Rhodes to win. I mean, if I had to bet money on it, I would. So I guess I'll be fair and I'll say that wasn't that expected. That was a little bit of a twist, right? It's like, you know, Brock could have won that match. But everything else has been very, very predictable. Like, I thought that he wasn't going to beat Roman Reigns. Now, it wouldn't have been shocking if he did, but I just had a feeling he wouldn't, right? I didn't think Roman Reigns' title reign was going to end like that, right? But anyways, that's not here nor there. The real point here is what is there to watch on Raw? First of all, they have Sami Zayn, apparently, on this episode of Raw, and because I did read the results, and apparently all I know is that Drew McIntyre, who's now like a full heel, beat him. He must have hit the Claymore and pinned this jobber 1, 2, 3, right? So there it is. There it is, motherfucks. Drew McIntyre, the guy that was feuding with Gunther for the Intercontinental title, now beats Sami Zayn, who we are told is a main eventer of WrestleMania, last WrestleMania. No, absolutely not. Sami Zayn back to the mid-card or back to the undercard. This has led to nothing. Him and Kevin Owens winning the meaningless tag team titles is a meaningless accomplishment on a meaningless night of a relatively meaningless WrestleMania. So with that being said, what is it to look forward to? Maybe Kevin Owens, the one that I just mentioned. I doubt it, cucks. Nobody cares about this guy. He's been irrelevant for years now, right? So what is it? Could it be main event Jey Uso? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you know, like, you have Jey Uso there on Raw, and you have Jimmy Uso on SmackDown, and as far as I can tell, all that says is that SmackDown is better, right? Because they're the same thing. They're twins. They're the same thing. But the one on Raw is a main eventer, and the one on SmackDown is a jobber. What could that mean? Well, to anyone watching, right? Imagine if you're a new fan, you don't even know there's 2 of them. You just assume it's the same guy, right? You know, you're like, oh, when he wrestles on Raw, you know, he's like better. He wins. So the people on Raw must suck. When he wrestles on SmackDown, he clearly puts on a wig up in this face, right? And he loses. And he's a lackey. So he must be a jobber, right? So just like that, you know, even if you know they're 2 different people, right? It doesn't matter. It makes no difference, right? They're the exact same character, the exact same person, right? Just one of them is more defined than the other one. Great. Oh, wow. What incredible character development. One of them stood up to Roman Reigns once and the other one did it twice. Fantastic. So anyways, what is there to look forward to? One of the arguments, the central argument, right, and I think I've been proven right, is CM Punk, right? CM Punk was something to look forward to. But let's be real, cucks. Survivor Series was last month. It was like 2 weeks ago up in this motherfucker. You know what I mean? So, 2 weeks ago, what has happened? What has CM Punk done in the 2 weeks that he's been in this company? Let's just say, for argument's sake, that he gets paid $20,000 a month. Obviously, it's probably much higher than that. He's probably got like $1 million contract at least, right? Because he is a big name, so to speak, right? So let's just say he gets $20,000 a month, right? If he had $1 million contract, he would get about $80,000 a month. Or let's go with $80,000. Let's go with $80,000 up in this piece, right? $80,000 a month. He's been there for half a month. He has earned $40,000. What has he done to earn this money? Absolutely nothing. He's come out, he's got one promo, and just to really ram it down WWE's ass, right? He doesn't even show up on Raw, as far as I know. I didn't watch, to be honest, but I read the results and I didn't see him on WWE.com, so get wrecked, right? So what is the purpose? Even if he did come out, it wasn't anything noteworthy. So what is there to look forward to on Raw? I have no reason to watch Raw ever again until, like, The Rock comes back or something, right? Everything good happens on SmackDown. Cena comes back to SmackDown, right? LA Knight is on SmackDown. Roman Reigns, when he shows up to SmackDown, right? I don't care about Nakamura, who is a SmackDown guy, wholeheartedly, I don't care about Seth Rollins. AJ Styles is not around, so it's like, what is there to watch? Judgment Day, and this is evident. You can see this thoroughly through the main events of pay-per-views, right? It's like, now they're trying to push Judgment Day as like some sort of main event faction. I mean, they're just not. It's as simple as that. They're just not. You know what I mean? They're not a main event faction. They're like a jobber faction. Like, even if Damian Priest becomes the champion, they're not a real like faction with a world champion as the leader. They just aren't, right? He's like a BS champion. He's not going to win the Rumble or anything like that, even though he probably should. He's probably the most fit to do it. But anyways, the point is, what's so good about Raw, right? CM Punk was supposed to come and do something about it. Didn't, right? Randy Orton is going to SmackDown. So it's like, why would I watch Raw at all, right? Why would anyone watch Raw? And also, I should note that Randy Orton chose to be on SmackDown. At least in kayfabe, he picked up the SmackDown contract and signed it. I could be wrong, but I don't think anyone's ever done that before. I think Batista one time cut a promo where he was like, the first time I've been given a chance to choose the show, I chose SmackDown. And Batista's like, at that point, he kind of was SmackDown, right? Like, he had some stints on Raw and everything like that, but like his career, like obviously the height of his career happened on SmackDown, He had the run with Evolution on Raw here and there. He was, he got his push while he was on Raw, but then it was on SmackDown that he, main evented pay-per-views against Undertaker and things like that, right? So that was really cool, but he didn't really choose SmackDown. Randy Orton legit picked up the clipboard and he chose SmackDown. I don't think this has ever happened before. Please correct me if I'm wrong on the comments, but I really don't think that any wrestler in kayfabe has chosen SmackDown. For some reason, they always choose Raw. Now, of course, they don't always choose Raw, because like the Raw is superior, right? Like, of course not. They just choose Raw because they're usually relevant wrestlers, and Raw usually gets the relevant wrestlers, right? Like Stone Cold, when he had to choose whether he was going to be on Raw or SmackDown, right? He chose Raw because he's Stone Cold, and like, you're not going to put him on SmackDown, right? You're not even The Rock was on Raw. So everybody was on Raw. But now everybody is on SmackDown. Finally, SmackDown has legitimately overcome Raw. And the reason for that, primarily in my opinion, is that CM Punk is back, and as a result, I really do believe that WWE is under this impression that they have two megastars in CM Punk and Randy Orton, and they're going to soon realize that they have nobody on Raw. Now, CM Punk will give them the initial boost, like when he has his like return, match, which will probably be like, it might be a Royal Rumble. Like, I'm not even sure, to be honest, right? Until that happens, we're gonna see how it goes down. But the truth is the truth. Not having CM Punk there immediately afterwards and starting a program with him is a complete waste of time. Why did he interrupt the end of Survivor Series? Like, Kayfabe-wise, I mean, obviously, like, from the perspective of WWE, he did it because it's Survivor Series and they're in Chicago, right? But kayfabe-wise, why did he come out, right? What would be the point of that? You know, these things have to be explained, right? It's just called bad booking otherwise. It's kind of like that time when Edge debuted, like, several months ago on AEW, and he had that vignette where he's just, like, driving over, like, something, and he drives over, like, whatever, it says, like, rated R or something, right? And it's like, what? You know, like, and he does it to interrupt Christian, who's about to perform a concerto. What would happen if Christian lost? Right? What would happen if Christian lost and there was no opportunity for Christian to perform the concerto? Kayfabe-wise, would Edge still debut and steal Darby Allin's moment? What would happen, right? You have to think of these things when you put them together. It's the same thing here. Why did CM Punk come out when Survivor Series ended? It makes no sense. Exactly, Cox. Exactly.